Today I'm going to review this book, Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I bought this book from online, shall we say, as a set because it's a trilogy and I thought I would read all of them. But having read the first one, I'm not sure if I can bear to read the other two because it turns out it's not quite the sort of thing I was hoping it would be. The blurb says, if you love Robin Hobb or George R.R. Martin, you'll adore Nevernight, which is a slightly puzzling reference to make because I like most of what Robin Hobb has written. It's clever and it draws you in, and she creates these complete worlds and you really want to know what happens next. George R.R. Martin does the same. He makes you want to know what happens next, and it's a wonderful fantasy world that you can get lost in. The problem I had with Martin is that the story goes on for blooming ever. You know, the only thing that ever happens is that people die and then more people die, and you realise that that's the only thing that's ever going to happen, is there's going to be more people dying as you go along. Well, I suppose that's life. But anyway, I prefer Hobb to Martin. But this one, this is not really anything like either of them, other than it's a fantasy and it's been built up into fairly fat volumes that will keep you going for a very long time, and there's 3 in the set. The style is chirpy and readable enough. The beginning of the story was a bit confusing because it seemed to be swinging between different versions of the same story in a random kind of manner, but eventually it settled into a style that I could follow. And the book is scattered with numerous footnotes which are written in an even chirpier style. They're quite witty little asides that tell you a bit more about this imaginary land and the way life is organised there, mostly the political life. And these footnotes are a bit reminiscent of Terry Pratchett, actually, in the way they're written. And they're entertaining enough, but I found it quite difficult to keep stopping reading the story and go to the bottom of the page and read these continual, relentless little witty asides. You know, it's a selling point, I guess. It's a unique thing for this style. So, yeah, I got into the book. It seemed to go on quite a long time, I should say, a good 2/3 of it, without progressing the plot particularly much. And then suddenly things got rather desperate and intricate, and you really did want to know what happened next. And so I carried on reading to the end, and it was a satisfying conclusion, and you could see that there was going to be more story. Well, obviously I knew because when I bought it, it was a set of 3. I'm not sure that I will be able to bear to read the next 2, though, mainly because I'm a sensitive little soul and I wasn't really expecting so much blood and violence and slaughter and outright unpleasantness throughout the book. All the characters are vicious and nasty, and they're continually trying to kill each other, and they sometimes do kill each other, but luckily they've got a character who is able to magically bring people back to life and mend up their wounds. So in a way, they're kind of, as long as that happens, they're doomed to continual fighting and being cut up and suffering the agonies of the wounds, and etc. The main focus of the book is on training for revenge. So everybody is really, really skilled at killing and doing horrible things to people so that they can get revenge for various things that were done wrong to them or their families. Which is okay, I suppose, as an idea, but focusing on it for too long I find distinctly tiring. And I know there are people who love that sort of thing. So to you, I would say it's a brilliant book. I'm not sure if it's for tender, delicate flowers such as myself. The other thing I wanted to say about this book was that since I read it, I have noticed that various social justice warriors who consider themselves arbiters of what shall and shall not be allowed to be published and read have picked on a certain aspect of this book which they claim is bad, unforgivable, has to be expunged. There's a tribe of characters that the author has created who are fairly mean and vicious and primeval, I suppose, and they have tattoos on their faces, and they don't have a good reputation. At no point that I remember does he compare them to the Maori. I don't see why he would compare them to the Maori, and I don't think the Maori are the only people in the world who do actually tattoo their faces. But some little punk has taken it upon him or herself to assert that this author has broken the bounds of social acceptability by somehow making fun of the Maori, I guess, appropriating their culture, giving characters of less than salubrious nature these tattoos on their faces, such as the Maori also have, and through that is implying that the Maori are somehow less than wonderful people. I don't know, it's crazy, because in this kind of book, all the characters are going to be in some way deplorable. They're going to have faults and things that you don't like about them. But also, none of them are actually compared to living tribes or practices of any kind. I cannot see why these people are complaining about it except in order just to make mischief. And if this guy, Jay Kristoff, doesn't feel called upon to apologise abjectly for defaming the Maori culture, more power to him. Why should he? So read the book, buy the book, damn it. I'm recommending it even though I didn't particularly want to read it again or read the next one. Because why should we sit back and allow perfectly respectable authors to be silenced by ridiculous little squirts who don't know what they're talking about and just want to make mischief? So there we are. Look out for my next video. Bye.